Story time. This one is called Pictures. It's called Pictures. See the picture there? The name of the story is Pictures. Terry liked to draw. He drew on the walls and on the floor. He even climbed on top of the cupboard and drew on the ceiling. At school, he drew in all the reading books. He drew everywhere, all the time. At last, his teacher had an idea. Terry, she said, let's paint a huge picture on the wall at the end of the playground. You can be in charge of the job, and the other bunnies in your class can help you. If we do that, will you promise to stop drawing everywhere all the time and do some other kinds of schoolwork just sometimes? Terry promised. The next day, he made a design for the big picture. The day after that, work on the wall began, and a week later, it was finished. Terry was very proud. It looked wonderful, and Terry did try to keep his promise. Let's talk about the picture. What was Terry's design? Do you see him? He's there. Terry's right here. See him right here with his paintbrush? And do you see the painting on the wall? What's that painting of?
What is this?
A superhero.
Right, a super bunny. Very good, super bunny. And super bunny is flying over the city. You see the skyscrapers? Those tall buildings down here. These are the skyscrapers. Super bunny is saving the city. See that? That was Terry's design. One more story. This one is called Which Color? 4 young bunnies wanted to go out and play. Wear your gloves, it's cold, Mom told them. So they took out a big pile of blue wool gloves from the closet and pulled on the first ones they picked up. Mine are too small, cried the first bunny. Mine are too big, moaned the second bunny. Mine are uncomfortable, said the third bunny. You've put on 2 right gloves, laughed the fourth bunny. You're all wearing the wrong ones, smiled Mom. We had better go shopping. At the store, she bought 4 new pairs of gloves, yellow ones for the first bunny, red ones for the second bunny, a green pair for the third bunny, and brown for the fourth bunny. Your old gloves had holes in them anyway, said Mom, and you were always mixing them up. The next morning, the young bunnies wanted to go and play again, but not one of them could remember which color gloves were theirs. Can you? Can't remember? Yellow ones for the first bunny, red ones for the second bunny, a green pair for the third bunny, and a brown for the fourth bunny. Okay? All right, since I did 2 bunny stories, I can do 1 different type of story, right? So I did 1 story for Aidan, 1 for Kimmy, and now 1 for Kaylee.
Okay, I like to draw so much.
That's nice. All right.
You draw one time,
Okay. Ready? This story is called The Day I Saved the Sea Monster. The Day I Saved the Sea Monster. The crowd was thick. Like the others, Wren had rushed down to the beach when Miss Mary had come screaming through the town. The sea monster! The sea monster! Have mercy! Help! Her cry sent electric shocks through the town. Wren was tiny, only 4 feet. He couldn't see anything because of the adults in the crowd. He could hear only snatches of conversation. It got caught in the net. I thought the net was going to break. It's massive. Ugly. The little boy tried to push his way through, but the crowd was too thick. It's still alive, someone shouted. We should kill it. Is it a sea cow? Suddenly, Wren knew what he would do. He went down on his knees and crawled through the crowd. No one noticed him. So intent were they on seeing and talking about this strange creature. A few shoves here and there, a couple of shouts, "Boy, what you doing there?" And he was through. The creature was huge, like a cow, and it was ugly. Wren wanted to run back, but there was no escape. The crowd had grown. Then he looked into the sea cow's eyes. Such sad eyes, such frightened eyes. All of a sudden, he wanted to touch it, to protect this creature from the men who were bent on killing it. It wasn't really ugly, just different. It had a beauty of its own. It was about 15 feet long as the crocodile that the boy had seen last year. It must have weighed as much as his father's cow. Its face was all wrinkled up, as if the seawater had dried it out. The creature had whiskers too, and it looked a little like Mass Isaiah with his prune face and whiskers. The boy saw all this, but looking into its eyes, he felt sorry for it. He tugged at Mr. Chang's shirt. What is it, boy? Mr. Chang, don't let them kill it. But it's a dangerous creature. No, Mr. Chang, it isn't. They started to drag the sea cow in. The boy maintained eye contact with the creature, wondering how he could free it. All at once he knew. He would call Miss Claire. She would come and, because the men respected her, they would listen to her and they would return the sea cow to the sea. He looked intently at the creature, thinking hard. Don't worry, I'll save you. I'm getting help and I will be back. The sea cow blinked its eyes as if it understood. Wren pushed his way through the crowd. He knew he had to run the fastest he had ever run if he wanted the sea cow saved, and more than anything else, he had to save it. Guess what? That's the end of the story. Pardon?
I know what that creature is.
What is it?
It is a hippo.
No, it's not a hippo. It's called a manatee. Another name for a manatee is a sea cow. Right? It's called a...
Auntie, I want to see the picture.
Okay. Remember, who was screaming through town about a sea monster? Who was it? Kaylee Wright, sit down. Aidan Rainford, sit down. Who was screaming about the sea monster? Nobody knows. I'm not reading any more stories after today. Is that okay? All right. I'm not going to read any more stories because you don't even know how to answer the questions when I'm done, right?
The teacher.
It was not the teacher. It told us how tall was Ren. Give Kaylee a chance.
12 feet tall.
He would be a giant. Aidan, do you know? Okay, go ahead, Aidan.
4 feet tall.
Thank you. Very good, Aidan. How had the sea monster been caught? How was he caught? Do you remember? Kimoya, do you remember how the sea monster was caught?
She was eating, so she was doing the work on page 14 and listening.
Okay. The sea monster was caught in the, yes, Kaylee, do you know?
The net.
Very good. It was caught in the net. How did Ren manage to get through the crowd? Yes, Aidan?
On his feet and crawl.
Right, he went down on his knees and crawled through the crowd. Next one. How are the sea cow's eyes described? What did they say about the sea cow's eyes? You know, Aidan? They said something at his eyes. What about it?
Sad.
Yes, very good. Sad, and another word was used. Yes, Kaylee?
It didn't look good.
His eyes were sad and frightened. Frightened was the other word. Okay. They said, how long was the sea cow? How long was it? How long? Remember, Aidan, go ahead.
5 feet tall.
It was 15 feet long. 15 feet. And what other animal is as long as the sea cow? Remember, it said it is as long as the, what type of animal? Animal that live in Black River and in the swamp, and it's long, has a big long mouth. Oh, snap, snap.
Alligator.
Right, like a crocodile. It's as long as the crocodile. What other feature does the sea cow have on its face? Sea cow has something on its face. Whiskers, thank you very much. And who did Ren decide to call? Name of a lady. Yes, Kaylee?
The person who was screaming.
No, he decided to call Miss Claire. The name of the person screaming was Miss Mary. So he called Miss Claire. He went to call Miss Claire. Okay, let's talk a little bit about manatees. A manatee is a sea cow. Same thing. Anytime you hear people talk about a sea cow, it's the same thing as a manatee. Can you say manatee?
Manatee. Manatee.
Very good. All right. Do you know where they live? Which areas are they popular in? Yes, Kimoya?
The lake.
In a lake? It's a sea cow, so I wouldn't say it lives in the lake. Anything else? Yes, Kaylee?
It lives in the sea, far out in the deep ocean.
In the ocean, in the sea, yes. Are they far out? See, they sometimes come on land, but I guess they swim far away and come back close to land. But they live in the Caribbean. Who else live in the Caribbean? Anyone else you know? Yes. Kaylee, you know something?
Me and my mommy and my daddy used to live in the Caribbean.
All of us live in the Caribbean. All of us. Right? And so do the manatees. The manatees live in the Caribbean, in Florida, and in the Gulf of Mexico. So all that area is within the Caribbean Sea, right? What do they eat? Do you know what they eat? No. They only eat, yes, Kelly, you know?
Fish.
No. Yes, Kimmy, you know?
Can try. What you think?
Yes.
Seaweed.
Very good. Kaylee said it also. They only eat plants. So they do eat seaweed. Only plants, no fish.
Really?
Cow is a cow. What does cow eat?
Grass.